So Luis is the director of San Francisco de Paula School, and please give it up and welcome to the stage, Luis.
Well, good evening, everyone. I wasn't expecting such an introduction from the mother of the Zamora Everhard. And it's a great pleasure being here with you this evening. My outfit is perhaps a little bit contrasting the previous ones, but I came directly from the office because in spite of those things that they say that teachers are always on holidays and so on and so forth, we are not. Actually, Eamon asked me earlier what were my holidays like, and I said my holidays this year were on August the 14th, and that's it. That were my holidays today. Anyway, my life is education for family reasons, as Eamon was saying earlier on, but I'm a trained scientist. I'm a chemist, and my students know that I keep repeating that chemistry is the mother of science, life, and existence. They laugh when I say that, but by the end of the year, they kind of agree. And let me give you an example. Who has heard about Le Chatelier's principle? Raise your hands. A few. Great. Le Chatelier's principle says that whenever you have an equilibrium and you act upon it, the equilibrium tends to evolve in some way to counteract your action. Now, you could say that in a slightly different way, which is whenever you have a status quo and you try to influence it, you will have an opposite reaction. My father was a great science teacher, and he summarized Le Chatelier's principle in 2 words: I oppose. Have you ever felt that in life? Trying to do something, trying to put forward some innovation, and I oppose. Now, when I was a teenager, and I'm sure you will keep this secret in here, in confidence, that was the past millennium. Again, the past millennium. I was a teenager. Well, I also was in my 20s in the past millennium. We'll skip that. I was reading, I've always loved history, and I read a book on Louis the 15th century. That was the 18th century in France. And society was complaining about youth. Youth is so nasty, so unpolite. And then I kept reading, not that book, some other things, and I went back to the Assyrians. They already complained about that, about how unpolite youth and unrespectful youth was. Well, I was youth at the time. Well, youth is a state of spirit, I'd say. At least I hope. So, and I work in education. My life is education, but education is about the future. Education is not about the past. Of course, we need to learn what others did, like, for example, Le Chatelier's principle. Of course, we must, because we must draw on the experience of previous people who have come to the world. But that was their lives. What are we going to add upon that? How are we going to go forward? How are we going to progress? Well, actually, if you listen to education reformists, you will listen something like this. The previous education was crap. Now we're going to do it right. And that has been going on. Actually, in Spain, it's the continuous tense, right? It goes on. But As Ray Kurzweil teaches us in Singularity University, the world has been evolving for 4.5 billion years non-stop, exponentially. Now, who here does thinking that after 4.5 billion years of evolution, we are just there? We're finished. Now everything's going to keep still. No, things are not going to keep still, and we need to go forward, and we need to prepare youth for them to make a contribution. As Newton said, I've seen further standing on giants' shoulders, but he climbed the giant's shoulders and he looked further. He did not say, this is what the giants have done, let's keep it the way it is. Remember the Le Chatelier's principles. I oppose. Right? When you try to operate change, you will feel, my gosh, if you will feel the forces opposing change. Now, that may get you into trouble. And let me tell you one time in my life when I really felt it. I was in trouble. Name trouble. And that's where I was. And when I got up that morning, I felt as if the sheets in my bed were kind of grasping me and not letting me go. Have you ever felt that? Not because you do not want to get up because you feel comfortable and tired, but because you are facing hell. And you know it's going to be hell. And in that moment, you want to go back to bed and cover up yourself and avoid the world. But then you say, no, I must live up to it. I must stand. I must make a step forward, and then another one, and you feel the force dragging you back, saying, no, come on, let it go. By the way, there's a wonderful physical law related to that, which is Hooke's law. Hooke's law on elasticity says that the force opposing stretching is proportional to the stretch itself. Meaning, if you get a rubber and you want to stretch it double, the force pulling back will be double. But if you try to force it 4 times, the force will be the quadruple. And I distinctly remember in that year 2000, as if I had a rubber or a spring trying to pull me back home and back to my bed in order to forget what was going on. But I said, I cannot. If one has to make progress, one needs to face opposing forces. And it's only through breaking that elasticity and to changing towards different paradigms that you can reach success. And you will go through hell, but then you will succeed if you persevere, as Tom was saying at the beginning. So, yes, we must draw upon science because those are proven facts. But literature and humanities are great. And let me finish by a quote by one of the greatest and funniest British writers ever, which is George Bernard Shaw. And George Bernard Shaw said, reasonable individuals adapt to the world. Unreasonable individuals want the world to adapt to them. Meaning, every progress is made by unreasonable individuals. Thank you very much.